So
Okay.
all right.
Wait, did you delete something?
What?
Did you delete some? No? Oh
Oh
no.
no, 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 I just made a new tab, but then if we're recording,
Oh,
I'll do with that
okay.
later.
Um, so maybe like I was thinking maybe we can do like an update for from the individual research. And
Oh,
then I was thinking to like we need to have like a how can I say like a solid strategy for the negotiation. And then I also wrote it on the document, but because seems like India will be the first country to act
mm-hmm.
when it comes to the negotiation. So it's like, okay, maybe like we should have like an opening statement
Yeah.
as we can like set the context for the whole negotiation and also like a bit of strategy to like have bilateral meeting with the US and EU. And well, it also said like the simulation ends when parties agree on the like something. So I was thinking, I mean, I'm not sure like it could be like only like a verbal conversation, but also I thought like we can have like a memorandum of
Understanding.
understanding or something to have like a concrete conclusion. Or if it's not gonna work, we can just take a picture and then like say like, oh, we're gonna post it on the like a press release or something as like
Mhm.
what they usually have for the conversation between the governments. So that could work
Right.
as well. But yeah, these kind of like the things that I was thinking for the strategy.
Yeah, okay. I think that works. I was thinking more just in terms of like what we want to say. Because like pretty
Hmm.
much we can just start, let me just start by like go over what else I've added to the research. Basically, so basically in that basic group, a lot of the members have signed this like NMOD Environmental Modification Convention, which basically bans the use. It's like banning the use of hostile environmental modification techniques. But what's interesting is that even if you geoengineer, if you claim that it's not hostile and the side effects are of geoengineering or SRM, if the side effects are negative, but you don't like frame it as a hostile thing, then NMOD pretty much doesn't apply. And like I said, I think just the big thing that specifically for India is going to be India versus Pakistan. Like I feel
Mm.
like that I don't know. I feel like maybe the US or the EU would bring it up just because there's a lot of tensions. But other than that, what I found, so number one, like pretty big concern with SRM specifically with like in with releasing those aerosols is pretty much releasing sulfur into the air is pretty much like monsoon patterns. Because it can enhance precipitation, but it also could just decrease precipitation under this strategy. There's like India has done, they've like gotten grants, and they uh, have some like studies on like what specifically SRM will do to the monsoon season and how that's going to affect like the Ghats, the Western Ghats, like different parts of India. Basically, that's like a big concern.
Mm.
What big side effect that India is pretty much concerned about.
Mm.
Um, so right now, like pretty much the US and China are the only ones that can deploy SRM unilaterally.
Mm.
Um, and what I mean, this article that I was looking at, it's called something called PLUS, which goes planetary large scale uninterrupted speedy. So again, those are just US and China that can do that. But there are other countries capable of deployment, right? So basically like the MIT Tech Review kind of shows that there's like potential for subscale deployment. So this is like deployment of like the sulfur into the lower atmosphere near the equator. They specifically say 35 degrees north or south of the equator. So some of the countries that can do that are like Australia, US, and Japan. But India is mentioned as one of the poor country that has territory at 35 degrees north south. And because all you need is like a little jet basically like a little business jet, it is possible for India to deploy like the sulfur into the like lower stratosphere. What else? Yeah, so some of the benefits of that, besides would that be that it's only 0.3% of like current sulfur pollution emissions and compared to like the 1992 volcanic eruption, It's only 1% of sulfur that you would be releasing in the air, but it is like more than 2 times the amount of natural sulfur when you go from the troposphere to the stratosphere, which I think the troposphere is like the lower one. Yeah. Um, and again, like I think he also mentioned it in class too, but this like doing so, what this strategy would only like delay the rise in temperature for a third of the year, and that's as long as you maintain subscale deployment. Um, the other thing is that it would delay intensity of like tropical cyclones for over half a year, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean that all those like small countries and more cyclone prone areas are they're not going to be severely impacted anyway. So it seems like, so now going back to this like other article, it seems like basically India has the capability to just do things not at the scale of the US, which is good to know, but they do have capacity. Like they do have theoretically they could do it. And so like this one article that I found is basically suggesting like because like we're dealing with like the US and China as the two people who can basically like do everything, it's kind of suggesting that like all of like the other countries are going to take like a side role and kind of resemble like non-superpower members, like Antarctic Treaty, Nuclear Club, and sort of support this like US China broad framework. So I feel like maybe that's somewhere we want to try and end up or look is like just try to support the US and like hedge with the US over there. And like this was also interesting to me is that the articles of one of these papers do argue that like solar like SRM done by a major power without multilateral engagement would be worse, like have more dramatic backlash than like a climate vulnerable state. And in the context of like and in the context of like wanting to pursue a multilateral governance framework, I think that they were saying that states might be more receptive. So I feel like maybe that's one angle we could hit. Then the other thing that I found, just on like just generally things that we should be aware of, India and the SIDS, this is kind of like influx, but India has been trying to help a lot of these like SIDS, especially because like it kind of has territories in the Andaman, it has territories in the Indian Ocean, like the Andaman Islands are a part of India, Andaman and Nicobar. So like they've been working a lot with those like small states in that area to kind of build climate resiliency. So think this article from the UN, I'm not sure when it was. I want to say late 2010s, just because they mentioned COP23, 500 million grants, 1 billion in soft loans over whenever this article was written for about the 3 year period. And like in at COP30, they're also kind of helping these small islands with like energy security and climate resiliency. And so India's like big criticism of this generally is that they're doing a lot for these small island states, but like a lot of these other countries like the US and EU, they feel like they're not doing enough. Um, and the last thing on that point is just under climate finance needs over here. Like, is it article? No, article 9. No, article 10. Yeah. So under Article 10, basically like tech transfer has not been super effective because of like IP barriers. So and then I think Article 9.1 also mentioned that like countries do have commitments to finance to pursue financing, but like I think India just like wants more from the bigger countries. And like part of the reason I think, or at least this article mentioned it, why they're working at or like one of those benefits of working with these small island like states is that because they're so climate vulnerable that like it then gives like India more leverage in the UN. So I definitely feel like we could use that too. So that's kind of what I have. There's not a whole lot on specific governance. I asked my dad, he really doesn't know anything about this and he doesn't know like what India is specifically doing. So unfortunately that was a dead end. But like they are thinking about it and they do, I guess, they do have more capacity than we thought. And I think it is something that they at least want to like be the leader in terms of, like research and stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. I also like read some of the article that you suggested, um and also like it kind of align or connected to the strategy part. I also like India still doesn't have a capacity. I mean, like when it comes to like SRM or no, when it comes to like SIDS coordination, like it's true that India has like a leading position to like trying to like cooperate and then like also like transfer a bit of climate finance. But also like for the SRM, maybe like we should still stick to like we don't have a capacity objection because it kind of like I don't know mix a
Yeah.
bit.
Right. No, I was thinking like we could either just like ex I don't think we should exaggerate, but I think we could say like that while we don't have like unilateral capacity, we're not
Mm,
completely hopeless. It's not like
mm-hmm,
it's not like we don't have any capacity. I can say that we do have the potential to do at least
mm-hmm,
scale deployment. Like it's not to the extent that the US does, but like,
mm-hmm,
we do have something at the very
mm-hmm,
least. Like
mm-hmm,
I think our angle should be like we have some potential. It's not as large as you guys, but we still have potential, and we do plan on pursuing more research because
mm,
we think that this could be valuable for like our people, or I think we think that this could be valuable. Like we have some potential, and but before we do that, we really want to study like the effect of the monsoon that it has on
mm,
monsoon season.
mm-hmm,
I feel
mm.
like
I
that was
love that. Yeah,
the angle that we worked
yeah.
on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna add that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the MIT Tech review was a bit too technical, and I feel like I didn't really get the contents
You did.
comprehensively.
I read it a couple of times before I got.
But other than that, I was like totally like agreeing with it, and also like very appreciated all the information given. So I mean, like for me, my update is kind of like a brief. Maybe I should first mention about like the roles that I was thinking to go. Maybe I'm gonna go for the advisor for MOEF. Because I think it's kind of like a reasonable and also like based on the structure of the governmental level. I think
Sorry,
the
give me a
advisor
second.
for oh, no
Give
worry.
me a second. My mom's phone is ringing and it's really annoying me. So I'm gonna go see if I can
Yeah,
move it out
go
of this
ahead.
room. Be right.
Yeah.
Boo, boo, boo. Where's your phone? No, I'm moving your phone out of my room because I'm in a meeting and it's really irritating. It's really annoying to hear. I'm putting it downstairs. I'm moving your phone downstairs. Downstairs. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Oh, no worries. So yeah, based on the governmental like a structure, I would say like I'm gonna go for the advisor because it's also connected to the what's India's national communication to the UNFCCC. So like I think it's kind of valid to like be on the international level for the advisor. So I'm gonna be that. And so well, first from the India's climate target, it's so brief, honestly. I mean, it's very background information that I don't think we're going to use it for the negotiation, honestly. But like just keep in mind, so India is trying to achieve the net zero by 2070, which is compared to the developed countries, it's kind of late. But because India is categorized as a developing country, so that's why they said that 2070, and then by 2030, they want to have carbon emission reduction per unit of GDP by 45%. And maybe I feel like I should do research on like 2050 because I don't know why they set the baseline as a 2005. Let me just take a note. Why 2007? 2005? Because usually, the country set the baseline as they have like catastrophic year or something, and then like if the emission is increasing, and then if they set that year as a baseline, they can show that they decreased the emissions. So I'll check the 2005 part anyway. And um based on the Climate Action Tracker, which is the big NGO internationally, and then like taking all the climate policies for each country. Well, like as other every countries received, the India was receiving poor evaluation when it comes to the track of the climate policies. But what's good about India's climate target is that they are trying to cover most of the industries that should be covered.
Yeah.
So it was like a good side of the India for the climate policies. And one thing which was so recent, like last month in October 8th, Ministry of or MOEF declared that they're going to set legally binding emission reduction target for energy intensive industries. So that's kind of like the progressive um, position that India is having. And for the adaptation, because geoengineering is part of adaptation. Is it
Mhm.
mitigation? I guess I thought it's adaptation.
He said it
Or
was. He said it wasn't out of. Do you remember what he said? Remember him. I remember
yeah,
this question.
I
Did
remember that we kind of talked about it.
he said it was? Oh man, he
I
said it
don't
was
know.
mitigation,
Okay,
right?
well, let me check the note. It was week 10, right?
Yeah,
No. Wait, let me
yes,
check.
yes. So,
I don't know. From my brief memory, I think he said like it could be both. Like, I don't know. For
I'm not
example,
looking.
the CCUS, it's kind of like one of the geoengineering part, and it's considered as a mitigation because they are capturing the carbon from the air and they're like trying to like put it on the soil. But when it comes to the SRM, I don't know.
Oh, the only thing is SRM is not considered a substitute for climate mitigation efforts. Maybe it's adaptation.
Honestly, like it could be both, isn't it? Like, because they're having a barrier for the sunlight. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh,
But okay, we're not sure about that.
okay. So that's good then. They do have like legal, like they do have legally
Yeah.
binding targets.
Yeah, and let me continue. Well, because like when I was doing my research on myself, I thought it's adaptation, so I look into the adaptation
Uh-huh.
plan as well. Honestly, the above part, to give mitigation strategies or the reduction strategy are kind of like the brief mitigation policies. So let me cover the adaptation part. Yeah, these are basically it, honestly. Um, as the other countries, adaptation plan was kind of brief and vague. Yep.
Okay. And then okay. And then
Uh,
you did some stuff
um,
on the US too,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Some
And so
reading through this.
the US part was that, well, I think the if you remember the lecture, his view was so close to the US situation, like we'd say we're gonna do like and development or the research development, but we will not implement into the real world. And that was what the US government is talking about. And there is also the governmental like declaration that say they will not engage in any form of the outdoor testing or deployment of SRM techniques. So that's the status for the US for now.
Okay.
Um, but there
Sure.
is like some like a key institutions such as the NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric
Yeah.
Administration is working on the SRM, and also there's like a big Harvard research project going on. So I thought that these two are kind of like key stakeholders or key sector, key institutions that is working on the SRM, and I would say it's kind of like the frontier. And so one thing the Biden administration declared was that what was the main part? they say something about it.
Go risk.
Yeah, maybe like me making it in the bold. Yeah, this part. Deployment could also carry significant. So that's the kind of like the basic stance that the current government is still having. So like it's kind of same as the Biden administration. And so far, what I have seen is that the Trump hasn't really like made a big decision or like shift from the Biden's um yeah direction. So that's the thing. And for the state level one, I mean, I didn't really look into the state for each policies, but one thing that came to the Google was that the Florida made a like geoengineering as illegal to do.
I didn't know
So
that.
there is it. I think some states, I don't know, maybe some states have like its position, and it has been made pretty recently as well, or it was only like in June this year, no, July this year. So,
Okay, so I'm trying to put my stuff in. So there is this like, so I was looking into like the EU a little bit. It
mhm,
seems like I just put two links. I was like,
okay,
I didn't have time to summarize, but
no worries.
first one is like the German government pretty much rejecting SRM.
Mm,
Second one is like this link from the EU, on SRM, from like advisors mission, and pretty much it just seems like they're saying the tech's not ready, and you should just you should be
mm,
doing research on. So like, this is a group of scientific advisors in the European Group on Ethics. So their recommendations, and I'll paste this in,
mm,
on reducing GHGs, reassess and look at the evidence every 5 to 10 years, ensure that research is continuing, but most
mm,
announce a Europe-wide moratorium on solar radiation.
mhm.
This is,
Okay.
ooh,
Oh,
heading is
thank you.
awful. Let me just type it.
Oh, no worries. Or maybe like you know what, like when you're gonna do copy and paste, do you know like you can do it in the same format?
Yeah, here. Let me just, yeah, there we go. And oh, then there we go.
Okay, cool.
And then yeah. So that's basically what I found. Then there is the it's called the Salata Institute for Climate and Sustainability at Harvard. They have like a
Yeah.
geoengineering research program. So I was
Mm-hmm.
looking at, like I was looking at Tom Schelling. Where have we heard that name? Did we read him? Never mind, sorry. I feel like we've just read. I feel like I've heard that name somewhere. But maybe we read him in class. But yeah, there's this paper. I'll put the name of the paper.
Mm,
It's called Solar Geoengineering Research Programs on National Agendas, a comparative analysis of Germany, China, Australia, and the United States.
interesting.
So this is the title of the paper. It's from Salat Institute. For some reason I can't, it's under publications. For some reason I cannot find what page it's on,
Okay.
but it's from here.
Okay. Thank you.
Um, oh, sorry. Let me
Thank
just
you.
here. So basically, I was kind of like perusing the Salat Institute just to see what they're saying, and
Oh, okay.
it seems like they're pretty much aligned that like this is still too new to have
Mm,
research into it. So maybe
mm,
thinking for a negotiation. I feel like
mm,
I don't know who is gonna do, like what countries are gonna come up in the EU. I would bet one of them might be Germany, right? Just because it seems like it's pretty well documented in the lit.
mm,
So I feel like the issue is that the Germany or the EU is pretty much going to say that like there's there should be like a complete moratorium
mm,
on doing like small testing, and maybe India just maybe they want to allow like certain t small scale testing to like come through with like some sort
mm,
of like rigorous, assessment, or like some sort of
mm,
like phrase, to
mm,
try out on like the smallest scale, maybe
mm,
that's something to argue for. I don't know.
mm. Yeah, I was also looking into this institute, actually, Salato Institute. And what I was checking is that the funding person and also the institutions. And there is a lot, and I thought like they're basically coming from the US, but honestly, some of the institutions are they're not sure about they're independent from like where. So, and I was not very familiar with all the institution that is based in the US or not. So sorry, I couldn't really tell. That was not very helpful information that I just read now. But yeah. I mean, like, if
All
there's like a
right.
specific institute that they're really aligning with the EU or India or something, that could be like, I don't know, that
Yeah, I
shows
put
like
it in
they're
this
already have
document.
like a research.
Yeah, I know. I can put it somewhere in here. I think that India, they definitely have an institute. I put it
Oh
in there. I
yeah, yeah.
think I put it in this document. I just don't. Oh man. No, I swear I don't remember where I put it. But let's go. There it is. The Indian Institute of Science seems to be the big one. They've received a grant from the Degrees Modeling Fund, which seems like it's sort of like this fund that pushes geoengineering just for for um for SRM. And then there is also the Energy and Resources Institute, TERI, that's the other big one in India.
Or did you write it on the document? Sorry.
It's on India's position in SRM.
Um, oh, this one.
Yeah.
Um,
I also did highlight.
okay. Oh yeah. Thank you. Okay, cool.
So maybe we want to
Yeah,
wrap on the opening
yeah,
statement.
sure. And I don't know. I mean, I thought like we can just informally ask Isabel like which country they're gonna do,
Yeah.
or I can just say like our team gonna send you an email soon. So and
Hmm.
asking like what kind of like a brief strategy or objective that they're having, and then we can say like we're thinking to have like a brief bilateral during the negotiation, and then like maybe have a MOU with covering these points or something. And I feel like that won't be like too argumentative when it comes to like MOU. Like hearing all the update and also like our brief research, it's like I feel like all the parties is having kind of like the similar position when it comes to like, okay, we might gonna do a bit of research and development within the institutions, with the help of some countries, but we will not deploy to the like the public st spaces, or
Yeah.
we're gonna implement soon or something. So I feel like I don't know, it won't be too hard.
No, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Let me start. So our opening statement, our position, and I'll like maybe I'll do bullet points
Okay.
and
Yeah.
make it in. And this is just I think this is like the bottom line for everyone. I think we're
Hmm.
all
Yeah.
I'm just putting for everyone on the same page. I think that here, that's like our bottom line. We might want to R&D, but
Mm.
and with in also in maybe in partnership with help of some other countries, but we will not deploy to public spaces yet.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say then India has a I would say we have a vested interest in pursuing and then we can say we have done research um we've done research into engineering or into SRM
Hmm.
specifically on metals and sulfur. Yeah. So say we've specifically done research, and I'll go back to my notes for that. So we've specifically done research on, I swear, I just like, where did that go? Yeah, it's, I think there's that one scientist, so it seems like we've done research go here. So we've done research on like on specifically injecting sulfate aerosols back into the
Mm.
stratosphere here.
I'm shooting a message to Isabel.
Right, here we go. Yeah. So yeah, so there's a scientist. Name is Govindasamy here. Govindasamy Bala. Scientist released, or I'll say published. Yeah. And sorry for the formatting. I'll fix that
No,
later.
it's all right, don't worry.
Uh, yeah. So okay. Yeah, so basically they've been here. This is the name of the paper, but basically they basically found that the cooling efficacy does increase with higher altitude deployment. Precipitation is less sensitive to the height at which aerosols are injected. All right, so they have like a dual effect. So here, I'm just gonna copy this link in and I'll summarize it at some point. So it just seems like they're mixed effect.
Mm.
So here's the link. This, there we go. And let me format that.
Maybe like we can make it in like 2 to 3 minutes.
Mhm.
I guess that
Yeah,
won't be too long. If we like, I don't know, if we put the risks as well, that's gonna be too long.
yeah.
Okay.
Or so maybe I'll just say that Govindasamy Bawa or paper on releasing aerosols. Maybe I'll say he just released a paper and then maybe like in negotiations, like in further rounds, we can talk about some of the risks that we see. And I'll
Hmm.
say also held a workshop in 2024 to map out, there we go, to map out research around, yeah, there we go. So we held a workshop in 2024 to match out research gaps. And then I'll say that maybe like studies have shown, so then I mean, no, I'll say we might have what, okay, so then say maybe I'll just say like we have some capacity to deploy into to do like subscale deployment in the troposphere, but
Maybe we have limited capacity.
limited. Limited. Um, yeah, so subscale deployment, and I'll say lower stratosphere, the equator 35 degrees or south. And I can maybe just say like there are benefits and drawbacks to that, and we can talk about that later.
Wait, that workshop was an international one? It's not
Yeah,
the one. Okay.
no, it
Maybe we can,
is. That's the one
yeah,
too.
maybe we can include some countries as well in
Yeah,
like
so I mean it was with Scripps
participate.
Institute of Oceanography and UC. So we do have some US in there.
Mm.
But again, it's like an institute. It's not necessarily connected to the US.
Yeah, that's fair. We should not mention about it. It's more like an academic cooperation. Or I'm
But
not sure whether it's
we can
even
just
cooperation. It's just like a presenting the content. So, okay,
yeah. I'll just say
thank
that
you.
we can be like so like we're not so we are pursuing like I guess we are pursuing like engagement with other universities
Hmm.
across the world. Like we're not acting unilaterally.
Hmm.
Say we have limited capacity to. And yeah, I think that's all. I think do you want to add anything else to this opening statement?
Just like we want to have like an MOU at the end or something from like,
Okay.
or maybe like from this negotiation, we aim to.
Mhm.
We can also mention about our objective.
Yeah, maybe. Because they are main objective is to
Uh,
is I think involved in any governance framework.
sure. Yeah, and not limiting or constraining. I mean, like it's gonna be from here.
Yeah, I'll say so. We want to be involved in any governance
Mm-hmm.
framework, and I'll say because of our role in helping SIDS as well
Mm-hmm.
adapt to it and our vulnerabilities. Maybe I'll just say that. Um, but we do want to keep pursuing research into this subject. And maybe I can say we want to meet. What if we like say that and this is just an idea, so it doesn't have to be, you don't have to take it, but what if we say we want to like at least establish maybe a framework for specifically like how you can test in real life, like apart from modeling? Or do you think that's too much?
Uh, mm, I'm not sure whether India is that willing to like initiate.
Hmm.
So what about like
So
we're
I
gonna
guess
say
I
like we gonna join if the US gonna do it or something?
feel like we don't want to say if they then we're like, and then they're like, well, you're just following the US. Maybe like we will
Mm,
join if there's consensus.
hmm. Yeah. But honestly, we don't really have to like. I know we can. Maybe we can do. I don't know.
But
I
this
feel
is
like
good.
we don't. Yeah, I feel like we don't necessarily have to say like to be very explicit for the opening statement.
Hmm.
I mean, from like a conversation, they're gonna get what we want. So
Yeah. Okay. Then, so from this negotiation, we aim to.
to agree on. I don't know. We don't have to agree on, but
Yeah. Well,
um, we aim to. Just say neutrally have a MOU between bilateral, bilateral.
or trilateral. We just want to have an MOU on,
Yeah,
you know.
tri. mm, It sounds quite tricky to have a trilateral, isn't it? Like between EU, US, and India. It's
It
kind of
does
like a weird combination.
this. That's true. Like I feel like that's true. I'm thinking of the only trilateral I can think of is like Singapore, Norway, and the IMO. I feel like there's an international institution involved in these things too,
Oh, okay,
UN or something like that.
okay.
That we
Yeah,
just
I think it's kind of yeah. So like just like bilateral MOU between EU, and not between with EU and with the US. That content related. Yeah, I don't know. What we discussed.
Let's go. MOU draft. What would we want?
Yeah, well, I don't, what do
Like
we
research,
want?
maybe research.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we should have like for US and EU, and for the US, I think the US is the most highly likely country gonna have like research and development on the frontier line. So if they want to have like an Asian partner,
Mhm.
mm, I know
Well,
it's gonna
okay.
like too much to say to have a priority for India to have like a research and development agreement when the US wants to do, but like that's kind of like the back like intention that we want to have. So
Yeah. Let's
yeah,
start with
be
the
Asian
What if we start with the
partner.
EU? Just because like the EU is, I think, maybe a little bit easier. Just because I feel like
Sure.
at least Germany's like in the EU's position seems very, very clear. Just they,
Yeah.
because that like press release from the European Commission pretty much said like they want to have assess on like potential opportunities every 5 to 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
They want to have like a moratorium. So maybe with the EU, we can be like, we're gonna like partner with to like research, and we're gonna like
Mhm.
host a
Yeah.
joint conference. And, ooh, because we could have a joint conference with them like next year.
Oh yeah, that's
Just,
gonna be nice. Like, oh yeah, just like having the conference is gonna be like super easy to have. So I'm not sure what it's super easy, but like it's easy to have. So do that.
yeah. On
EU, India. Does EU have a lot of like a cooperation agreement between India? I have not really heard of it.
well, okay. So joint they just had a because they were in luck. They just had a joint press release on policy and security consultations 5 days ago.
Oh, okay, wow.
Just in time. Okay. So implement they have a strategic partnership
Mm-hmm.
for an EU roadmap.
Okay.
It yeah, it really doesn't mention like okay. So it says cooperation in the fields of innovation, science, and technology, and
That's
opportunity
cool.
to people to contacts in the education and research.
I love
So
that.
we do we do have something.
Okay.
There's
So then
trade.
easy, yeah.
Here, one more. So trade
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna put this is so good. Trade and
Mm.
Technology Council
Yeah.
in the EU, they have a ministerial meeting in Brussels in 2026. So maybe we
Okay.
can say that we want to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
This is something we want to bring up. And
Mm-hmm.
by the way, just for our purposes, I think India is going to chair BRICS in 2026.
Mm. Okay. So I
So
think
how
for
much
the Brussels conference, like we can agree on to have the SRM topic first of all for that um conference, and then for the BRICS part, I'm not sure how we can do. For the BRICS
no, but
part,
I just think it's relevant to note that they are going to chair BRICS.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
There we go. I mean, they also do have like trade and stuff, but I guess it's not. And yeah, and then say we want to keep information on areas such as I'm just gonna quote them to contacts at there we go. We want to deepen people-to-people contacts in education. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and cooperate on uh maybe we can be super on modeling research of you say we want to cooperate more on like mod on like on specifically aerosols and sulfates.
Mhm.
I feel like that could be a decent start.
Yeah, I feel like the MOU doesn't really have to like be like very long drafting, so
Yeah.
I like that.
And
And I
then
think it's very like agree, like possible to agree.
yeah. And then for the US, what do we think we can get out of the US?
Um, so I was briefly checking whether the US and India has like a technology
Mhm.
cooperation or something. Um, it's not specific like memorandum or something, but seems like they are exchanging quite a lot of what they are like contributing financially to like develop
Mhm.
specific technologies such as the semiconductor, biotechnology, telecom, uh, yeah, these kind of like critical tech advancement. So it's, I don't know, keep the momentum for the technology cooperation. And if there's like some specific conference that we can also cover, do we ha want to have a cooperation or I feel like maybe more like an university cooperation because the US has like a university driven research and then like the India also wants to have like tech university to join that. So maybe like enhance the cooperation between the national universities to have a joint research or something. It's
Mhm.
not the national level to say.
So guess what there was? In May 30th, May of 2025, there
Okay.
was the inaugural Hopkins India conference at Bloomberg Center.
Oh, but I would say like it's a Baltimore Bloomberg Center, isn't it? But anyway, it's not a
I
big
will
deal.
say, I will say, and the other was the other thing that at least this is what I've heard from my father, at least for the business school. So I don't know how accurate it is, but like they do want to like they I think they I know like a while ago, I want to say a couple
Mm.
years ago, looking at like building something in India. They're also
Hmm.
looking at right? So I feel like university is the way to go. And ironically,
Sure.
I don't know about other like universities, but I know at least Hopkins, like at least from what I've
Mm.
heard from my dad's like talking on the phone, they have just like been trying to get over there. But I can't find anything and I can't find any specifics to be honest. Ooh, what's this? What's this published? So the India does have this thing called GIAN Global Initiative of Academic Networks. And it looks like what this is just like it's something that they proposed in 2026. I mean 2016. I'm just looking at this through Brookings. Just seems like US universities like professors can spend like up to 6 months in India like during a sabbatical year, but that's about all I've had. It's not very helpful and this link is not loading, but just what I found. It's from Brookings.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. I can't really like find like a specific conference. Do you think we also want to have the conference with the US or are we gonna more?
I feel like just maybe I wonder if there's maybe we can push a little bit more with the US.
Yeah, maybe like we should have like more concrete. Should we try to have a like a numbers, like send or exchange these numbers of scholars between the countries for the research
I
by
don't
2030-ish.
I don't think so. I just feel like for that we're gonna have to do a lot more research, and at that point I feel like we're kind of straying from our main objective, right?
Yeah, that's
So
true. Yeah.
nice, but I don't think it's necessary
Mm, so,
else. Is there anything do you think they're here? I'm just actually gonna just pull up that simulation again. I don't here. Let me just pull up that simulation, the one that you sent. There we go. If there's anything that we could be missing or anything that we could maybe achieve. Maybe like because I mean the one thing we don't want is we don't want the EU and the US to put like a moratorium on it, right? Like that's the one thing we want to avoid completely.
like avoid.
Like a complete ban on geoengineering.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one
I
thing
think
we
they,
don't want.
yeah. I mean, I don't really think they're gonna do that though. But,
Mhm. I mean, I feel like the EU might just because like I mean, at least Germany seems very, very
that's fair.
so just I don't know, maybe something to keep in mind here. Mm, 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 mm.
Okay, so I got a reply from Isabel that that team gonna work on the EU Commission team as a whole, so not representing your
Okay.
country.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's see. So maybe, okay, I'm just looking at possible actions to participants. So maybe we can some definitely some actions we could do like maybe we can offer a bilateral
Hmm.
offer negotiations with everyone. So maybe that
Sure.
can be our first move, right?
Yeah. I was wondering like if we want to have like bilateral, will it be like the other teams? So for example, if we can have like India and the US bilateral, the EU is just gonna be there and not doing
Oh,
anything.
no, the EU will leave.
Hmm?
If we ask to hold a bilateral with
Yeah.
with the US, like the EU group just leaves.
Yeah, I know. But like during the like, oh, maybe they're gonna have like their own meeting or something, probably.
Probably. So I think we should at least I think we should plan to have like here negotiate um plan to I think we should plan to ask for a bilateral
Mm-hmm.
with with the US and EU separately.
Mm-hmm.
Is there and then maybe in that we try maybe when we do the EU, that's when we try and get our like MOU.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that? Like we ask for a bilateral, we try and ask for an MOU.
Maybe we can ask for the bilateral first and then like agree on the MOU
Yeah,
during the bilateral.
yeah, that's like what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like India has like a chair role or something for the negotiation.
The chair goal?
The chair, the role of the chair.
Yeah, and breaks.
No, I mean like for this negotiation.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I mean, because if India gonna start from as like a first country to act, and then like if we're gonna say, okay, we won't have like a bilateral between these two countries, and seems like we're kind of like setting the whole negotiation structure.
Well, then maybe we should start with like a multilateral negotiation.
Yeah, maybe we can ask for like what you want for the negotiation or something, and then I think like they also have like an opening statement or like showing their objective.
Yeah.
So
So maybe we
okay,
start.
maybe like yeah, we can at least try to like stick to the like a moderator role. At least we can do so that that's gonna be like easier for us to like set a bilateral and then like agree for the more you. So
Mhm. So maybe round one opening statement, round two, maybe we do like multilateral.
Sure, yeah.
And then maybe in multilateral, what do you think we should ask? Like maybe we can, because I feel like the one thing, like I think we just have to kind of put that out there. It's like the one thing we can't have a ban on this entirely, and say be like we want to pursue like, can we find an agreement with everyone for like
Mm,
research or something? I don't know.
yeah, for research or in more like a nuanced way to say like everyone not to have a constraint on research.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, not to have money for research. For us, yeah, you developer try to have whatever you want, and then with the US too.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Maybe we can send this like the plan and also like maybe it's gonna be good to have like opening statement from each country and we're trying to have like MOU with each country. So that's like what you need to keep in mind or something for the email.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Let's see what else. Like I just don't I feel like it's gonna be hard too because I feel like well I'm just thinking about like the US and the EU and
Mm-hmm.
I like maybe they're I don't know I feel like they might want to like have a bilateral
Mm-hmm.
to to you know like to like try and get like a ban on this. I don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking of this too like not cooperatively enough, but I feel like that is something that would be in both of their interests.
Mm.
Based on, you know, our research too. It's like we've seen that the US kind of has a ban already. The EU is
Yeah.
Germany. So I feel like
Mm-hmm. Mm. I mean, on the international level, I think it won't be like that yet because like for the like a state level or the country level, it could be. But like between the EU, which is kind of big, and the US, it's also big. And these two big party with the India to have
mhm.
agreement not to like use the SRM at all, I don't think it's gonna happen.
But I was looking at this and the file does say, you know, like national interests today in the real world apply to scenario. So I feel like where we can all agree is like we need to like we can't have China pursue this unilaterally.
That's a good idea to have agreement or like have a cooperation. Yeah, I didn't do research on the China yet. I just like jotted down the China from the last meeting, but I didn't mention that.
Like I feel like that's kind of in
I mean, I think it's kind of like good strategy to have like one opponent and yeah, have
yeah.
agreement. Let me quickly check the China's
Okay.
um
They did cloud seeding, right?
like on the public area.
Did they? Or they have plans? I remember. Let me find this. China cloud seeding. See. Okay, yeah, it's China. It's called. This is yeah. This is a speaker. So yeah, they have cloud. They've had nearly 27,000 cloud seeding operations.
Mm,
Let me. All right, here. I'm gonna try and put. Let me try and put this in research, like under everything. I'm gonna make a new. Let's do that. China. Because I don't know. Maybe we want to say like. look, like we're not going to pursue this, but I think China, because they have a track record of doing cloud seeding.
No, sorry.
Okay, that's all good. Uh,
Mm, okay.
see. Okay, first, effectively alters precipitation. Spillover is initially positive, negative, and then zero. All right, so yeah, I don't know what. Increase of precipitation here. Increase of precipitation from, come on, let me get an Elsevier. All right. Increase of precipitation by cloud seeding observed from a case study in November 2020 over Xizhuang, China. Here's the paper, at least. There's the paper. I found it again. It keeps coming up. This like who could deploy stratospheric aerosol injection? It's horrible.
I mean, like some paper mentioned that the US, Russia, and China is trying to like battle when it comes to like a climate modification. But I can't really like, find a like a substantive article that mentioned about they're working on it so hardly. Seems like the Chinese government hasn't really like released any information though. Like there's so many like information from the like a private media, like but there's not public
Yeah, and
declaration that says about that.
there's no press releases. Okay. Well,
Uh,
so maybe so maybe we should do okay, so I'm like looking at this article again, just like some of the old like historical examples they cite between the US and the US and the USSR.
mm,
Um, so like I think maybe we want to do something like the IGY, the International Geophysical Year, like Antarctic research. Maybe we're gonna launch some initiative like that and sort of like freeze. At least what they did, they kind of froze their territorial claims and agreed to pursue research.
okay.
Maybe that's something that we could do.
Mm,
Like it looks like this, like there's this, it's called SCAR. I cannot find but it's like a coordinating mechanism for scientific research carried out in Antarctica. International cooperation enabled by the Antarctic Treaty, facilitate multiple notable scientific achievements. including like the biomass program. So I feel like maybe this, like maybe, and this discovered the ozone hole above Antarctica. So like maybe mutual superpower support for an activity that might affect global commons resulted in that activity taking place. Maybe that's like something that we should try and maybe that should be like our kind of aim. It's like when we're thinking about research, it's like trying to
Yeah.
build a new institution to to cooperate on scientific research. Sort of
Hmm.
maybe what we want to do is like maybe freeze any sort of plans or in the future for unilateral deployment, maybe for like 5, 10 years and maybe 5 years, and then like do more research into specifics and set up like I don't know, like an institution
Mm.
of that.
Mm.
I put the title of the paper. I don't for some reason it's not letting me like give it it's not letting me put a link in, but it's from the Salata Institute. The title is Who Could Deploy Stratospheric Aerosol Injection?
Let me try to.
So the whole thing. So the United States, China, large scale rapid planetary cooling. That's the full title of the paper.
It works for me. I read the link here.
Oh, perfect. Because I'm just getting a PDF.
Yeah,
Ah, thank you.
no worries. Mm.
Like, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's perfectly matched. Oh, you're so good at researching the paper. The paper that I found was like the Chinese like policies, but like it doesn't directly mention about the SRM, but it's more like it kind of mentioned about the geoengineering, but not very much.
Yeah,
It
I
seems
also
like
feel like
they're
it's so
still like,
new.
yeah, but it's not a lot of papers because like even like when I do research right now, like they also show the paper from 2019 or something.
Yeah. No, it's been hard. I think I've just like I honestly I don't know how I found this many papers. I think I just get lucky at some point. I try to search up all the words.
Mm.
So, there's no strategy to it whatsoever. So I feel like that could be an action we take. We propose a new institution to
Mm.
study SRM on the atmos on maybe SRM on weather patterns in and then we can say this institute specific in SIDS and the Indian Ocean area, maybe.
Are you listing for the MOU or
No, I put it in the negotiation, just in the last of the negotiation sim plan, just under here. I think if we're
uh,
gonna do maybe,
okay, gotcha.
if we, oh, sorry. I was saying if
Never
we
mind.
do multilateral and we say, hey, we want to have multilateral negotiations, we want to try and propose a new institution to study
Mm.
SR, similar
Mm-hmm.
to what the US did in Antarctica. Maybe that
Mm-hmm.
would,
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Yes, I think it's gonna be a good strategy to like write China from for the opening statement. Even though like the China is kind of like growing when it comes to like SRM and development, and then we don't want that country to be unilateral
I think,
winner.
yeah, yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Just because like then we can also make it clear that we I guess not a shared enemy, but you know what I mean? Like we have something to
Mm.
that we can all sort of cooperate on. And I think that at least from what I'm seeing, and maybe it's like a valid fear. I think there've already been so many things is about we need to stop China from cloud seeding. So
Yeah.
okay. All right. Is there anything else you think we should do before the negotiation besides reaching out to the other groups?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay, so is there anything else that you want to go over? Like we can also just have another meeting tomorrow or like Tuesday morning
Sure.
afternoon.
Maybe we can do it on Tuesday. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go to professor's office hours from 6 or 5:30 ish.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, I'm available. So we can do it like I don't know in the afternoon or in the morning,
Okay, that
whichever
works.
time works for you. What time gonna be good for you?
Like anytime. I don't have
Okay.
anything besides this. I
Okay.
all
Let me
right.
just set us like a 12 or something, and then we can of course like be flexible anytime. So
All right. Is there anything that you think we should work on between then? Because I feel like this seems pretty comprehensive. I might want to do
yeah.
some research, like other other maybe other like things we can do for our negotiation specifically, like what we might want to ask, or maybe like
Right. Mm.
like maybe that honestly. I feel like
Yeah,
maybe
that's
a good
yeah, I
starting
think we
point.
should. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good to like have like a prepared questions,
Yeah.
so that we will not like be the off track. Yeah.
Let's say for Tuesday before I'll say we need to prep. I'm just putting this at the bottom here. Press for other they prep questions for other countries
Yeah.
and maybe I'm gonna say just for myself, come up with a framework for like something like Antarctica. Like or yeah, to enhance
Yeah.
duration. Like very light, very basic. Maybe like two to three things that we should have. No, I'll just say maybe. I feel like that could be just the what
Mm-hmm.
we should.
Yeah. Do you want to shoot an email to both teams, or should we like just create a group, or I don't know. Well,
Um, I mean, should we? I mean, just I could just draft one now. Um, here, or I just feel like people are gonna respond more to text.
I
Should we?
just wanted to clarify for the EU part because like the objective that the professor mentioned was like it's a balanced, or was that like balanced something?
Yeah.
Um, and I was not sure what it means for the balanced something. So if they have like idea on what they mean, because I assume that they can define what they want to mean. So,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, like we can also clarify during the negotiations, like
Oh, true. A
yeah, because
question.
it's kind of like what it's meant for to like have a conversation for the negotiation. So,
Yeah.
I mean, at least we can save time a bit for the next day's exam, because we need to like be in the class from 9.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I have to go do my to go do the practice final.
Mm.
Uh, okay. Yeah. I think that the other thing we can just maybe just prep like two questions that a couple of questions are like points that we some like questions asked for each country and then for me I'm just gonna come up with like I don't know I might honestly just say like we can do this similar to the I'll go look at the Antarctic Treaty. I'll maybe pick like two or three things that they did that I think could be useful and then just stick that in there. So maybe like I might be walking back and eating my words, maybe like a 5 year right now, or 3 to 5 year moratorium on any like deployment, then pursuing research. I should write this down so I don't forget it. Okay, maybe like 3 to 5 on deployment, increase research, modeling efforts, and then maybe like after the period, maybe define like what areas are acceptable to test, maybe something like that.
Mhm.
What do you think of like that? Just something that like a framework, very basic that we should.
You mean like we should have like I don't
Yeah,
know,
if
is
we're
it
gonna,
kind of like a concrete plan for the
yeah,
implementation or something? Okay.
yeah, for cooperation. If I say, hey, we want to increase cooperation, here's like 3 things we want to do. Maybe I'll make it not a 5 year moratorium, maybe 2 to 4. I feel like that's more gentle.
Oh, so it's um when we
Unless
say
we,
like the I mean when we said deployment, it really sounds like we actually gonna do it, but we're not sure we're gonna do it. So
mm.
should we say deployment
If you think
or
that we don't, then we don't have
I
to.
don't know.
Yeah,
I mean
future.
moratorium on further research or something?
No, I think that we should, but I think we should encourage research and modeling. I think it's like whether they on unilateral, maybe unilateral deployment. How about that? And
Wait,
say like,
deployment is kind of like implementation, isn't it? No?
I guess, but like maybe. 'Cause I was just thinking like, hey, you can pursue as much research as you want, but like when it comes to like actually putting this stuff in the air, you gotta wait.
Hmm.
And talk about that later. Because that they that's what they love to do. They just love to say we're going to talk about the most pressing issues at the next conference anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. If we put like deployment, that's gonna be a bit argumentative. Like, I mean, to go for the safe way, we're gonna, I don't know, we can say like a research still.
Right then, I should just delete it. And then to increase research and modeling efforts, and then
Yeah.
after we had another conference.
Yeah, I think it's a safe way and then like solid way to like have a conclusion.
Uh-huh. Maybe that, yeah. Increase research modeling efforts after the period, another conference on deployment and governance.
Yeah.
Okay. Go and God, I'm gonna go and try to study for econ now.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to write as much as I can do for the final draft. Not the first draft, not the final.
Oh God, good luck. I think I'm gonna take my chances. I'm just gonna write my research paper
Yeah.
and say
Okay.
YOLO.
You're gonna be on the campus on Tuesday in the afternoon?
I will. Well, yeah,
Okay.
we have to be there at 6:30 anyway, so I'll just come
Yeah,
up.
that's fair.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
just text me what time would
Yeah,
work for you.
sure. And also I'll let you know whether I'll be on the campus or not. I'm not gonna go to the campus in the night.
All right.
Okay.
See you.
Cool. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.